This man has entered an extremely dangerous hunting game where he serves as prey for 5 hunters. If he can survive 24 hours, he'll win a $24 million prize. The unfortunate Dodge not only faced bankruptcy but had also recently been diagnosed with terminal cancer. His life was on a countdown. To make matters worse, his wife had just become pregnant. If he died now, the crushing debt would destroy his wife and child's future. Through a hospital orderly's introduction, the man decided to participate in this real-life hunting game. The next morning, Dodge arrived at the designated restaurant. The mastermind behind the game explained that it would begin this morning and end the following morning. He then confiscated all of Dodge's belongings and gave him a different phone. This phone could track his earned prize money, but whenever funds were deposited, it would expose Dodge's location for 15 seconds. At 6:45, the hunt officially began. $50,000 instantly hit his account, and the hunters were already inside the restaurant. Dodge immediately stood up and began his escape. In his panic, his only option was to keep moving. To evade the hunters, Dodge decided to hide on a public bus. But just as the bus was about to depart, a strange long-haired man boarded. He approached Dodge and demanded he move to the inner seat. Dodge reluctantly complied, which made him deeply uneasy. He had no idea who might be a hunter. When the long-haired man prepared to open his case, Dodge jumped up in fear and called for the bus to stop. After leaving the bus, Dodge headed to a crowded mall, knowing the crowds would work to his advantage. He followed a mother carrying a baby into an elevator. Such a combination made him feel safer. Just as the elevator doors were closing, a well-dressed man in a suit blocked them and entered. Dodge immediately went on high alert. Through the reflective elevator doors, he could see the suited man was also observing him, which worried Dodge greatly. As a precaution, Dodge armed himself with the woman's pen as a makeshift weapon. Fortunately, when they reached the woman's floor, the suited man followed her out, allowing Dodge to relax. He randomly selected a floor to exit. But the moment he stepped out of the elevator into the corridor, he heard a noise behind him. Turning around, "Damn, you really are a hunter." The suited man pulled a weapon from his sleeve and began the hunt. Dodge immediately fled with the suited man in hot pursuit. Dodge secretly slipped into a public restroom and hid in the furthest stall. He stood on the toilet holding his pen, assuming the suited man would crouch to check under the doors. Unfortunately, Dodge had watched too many stupid movies. With footsteps approaching, the suited man entered the restroom. Dodge gripped his weapon, barely daring to breathe. But the suited man remained perfectly calm. He was an elegant hunter who needed to maintain fresh breath and his damn charm before terminating a target. After completing his routine, he began violently kicking down the stall doors. Without any suspense, Dodge was caught. Perhaps because the victory was too easy, the suited man called the mastermind to complain about the lack of challenge. Seeing this opportunity, Dodge slammed the door into the suited man and knocked him down. Just as he reached the lower floor, his phone received a message. The second hour's payment had arrived, automatically exposing his location. Dodge immediately surveyed his surroundings vigilantly but was still caught by a second hunter. With too many pedestrians around, the man in the jacket couldn't finish him there and prepared to take Dodge somewhere less crowded. The suited man, seeing his prey stolen, immediately used his weapon to damage the elevator. Dodge took the chance to knock down the jacket-wearing hunter and escaped once again. But in his panic, while dodging pedestrians, he tumbled down the stairs. By the time Dodge got back on his feet, the suited man had caught up and the door behind him wouldn't open. The unlucky Dodge was done for this time.